Join me as we explore traveling out of country. 00J Love. Hey! Welcome. This is 00J Love. I have a special guest in here. I love having special guests. I want to welcome a good friend of mine, and her name is
Audrey Long.
Audrey Long, and her YouTube channel is.
Oh,
I'll send it to you later in the description box. But yeah, guess what she does? Tell them who you're affiliated with. You just told me about the group.
Oh, the Exodus Summit group. You know, Rashida Dow and Stephanie Perry.
And tell the people what they talk about or how the group is affiliated.
Oh, the group just encourages Black women to find their freedom and find their peace and move out of these United States so we can do that.
Travel out of country and everything. So tell me the different countries, I'm sorry, the different countries that you go to. Come on.
Well, I've been to a lot. I think I made 22 countries at this point.
We need to drop some of them.
But
this woman been traveling.
I have lived these past 3 years.
Lived
in Thailand and Mexico and Vietnam for a little bit.
No, we gonna keep. Okay, how long were you living in Mexico?
I stayed in Mexico a year and a half.
You said Thailand. How long was that?
I stayed in Thailand for a year and about 8 months.
Okay, and then.
And I stayed in Vietnam for about 30 days. 45
okay,
days.
Out of those 3, which one did you like the most?
Thailand. I like the most.
I do love to go there.
Love Mexico, but Thailand is just so peaceful and the people are so kind. And although I do find the same things in Mexico, it's just something about Thailand. People that have been there always say that. So, and it's something about that.
This is a question I personally would have. I want to know, how are you picking, number one, how are you picking your locations? And do you have a fear to go?
Oh, okay. So I think that the fear part I'm asked a lot. So I think that we all have a fear of anything new, right? We all have a certain amount of anxiety. Like, that's how you know you're human, I think, right? Mm-hmm. So what you do, or what I do is missing the adventure worth the fear? No. To me, it never is, because what I do is
missing the adventure, is that worth the fear? No. Okay.
So what I do before I travel, especially solo, if I'm not with my daughter, I'm usually with my daughter, but these places I've been by myself. So what I usually do is make sure I research. So I know the best areas that people are saying they stay in. I don't necessarily need to be in an area with a lot of foreigners like me. I don't necessarily have to be in the area. I also get on the WhatsApp groups, brothers and sisters of all the places, Facebook groups. I do all of that, and I see what they're saying. I even check weather, how the weather patterns are, so I'll know what it is I need to have, how I'm going to plan my year, or however much. I have to admit, I usually go and see if I like a place. I don't go to stay. I don't go and say, oh, I'm just going to go to Mexico and stay. I just by chance went to Mexico. I was traveling around to see a place I wanted to settle for a little bit. I was on a career break. I think I didn't say that. And I found Mexico. And when I found Mexico, I was like, this is the perfect place for me. And so I stayed there for a little bit. I did the same thing when I went to Thailand. My initial thing was to stay in Vietnam. I'd always wanted to live in Vietnam for so long. Oh my goodness. And so I went to Thailand, and I left Thailand. At the time, they had a 45-day visa on arrival. And so I stayed there for my 45 days, and then I left. I went to Vietnam, and I missed Thailand so much. And I liked Vietnam. It wasn't like anything happened or anything. And I went back to Thailand and I stayed there.
Let me ask this question because I want to be clear. I know you're saying that you research when you go. But are you talking to someone? How are you? Because they could give you some pictures or you can get information and you're thinking it aligns to what you go there and see, but do you have a group? Are you talking to other travelers? Are you receiving information from the group you're in? How is that?
So I'm very introverted, so I would never post anything in anyone's group. But what I do is I read. So I just read all this every day. I read whatever they're saying in the WhatsApp groups. I read whatever they're saying on the Facebook groups. I look at a ton of YouTube videos, as I'm quite sure everybody does. I try to get as many aspects of the place that I'm looking to go to as I possibly can. And then I travel to the place because no matter...
You travel to visit and then you come back to where you were? Is that what you're saying?
I travel to visit, and then if I like it, I stay. If not, I move on to the next place I want to check out.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
So with Thailand, was it a successful mission when you went there? When you did all your research and homework and you looked at the WhatsApp groups and whatever other groups and YouTubes, when you went there, how did you find a place to stay? Did you have it already coordinated before you got there and everything, or what?
I didn't. When I usually go to a new place, I will stay in a hotel for the first week.
Okay.
I like to take the public transportation around the towns, walk around a lot, and like I said, check all the groups and any question I have, someone is asking. So I'm checking all of that, and then I'm seeing like what area I like. If I'm really I don't know what it's called, but I'm really I like the aura and the atmosphere of places. I need it to be calm and peaceful and things like that. So if I feel like, oh yes, I can stay here, this is what I did. If I feel like, yes, I can stay here, then I start looking for the best places to stay. I always stay in a hotel for about a week to get my bearings, and then I'll move into an Airbnb. I usually will be in an Airbnb for about a month. And that way I can, or what I'll do is move into an Airbnb for 2 weeks in one area that people said was really nice. And then I'll move to another area, and then I'll get a real estate agent to take me around to look at houses, and I'll tell them to take me, I don't care what area, because they like to try to take you to where foreigners are. Yeah. And I don't necessarily need that. I don't need that. So I just tell them to take me wherever. And when they do that, you see the whole city. And so then I'm able to make my decision that way.
So what about language barriers? That has to be on everybody's mind. Well, I don't speak the language. What happened in Thailand?
So as Americans, we usually speak only English, or we speak English and Spanish. We usually can get those. So what happened in Thailand is that most of the people will speak English to you. But I stayed in Thailand on a student visa. That's very important. That's why I said research. See how you're able to stay in the country as well. So one of the ways to stay in the country was a student visa. Okay. So I stayed there with a student visa, so I learned Thai while I was there.
Speak us some Thai.
Oh, all I can say is... I can say "Swadika."
Okay, so can you understand it better than speak it?
I can understand it a little better than speaking it. The thing is, just like in the U.S., we have different dialects, but we're all speaking the same language. Okay. It works the same way. Okay. So it just depends on who's speaking to me if I understand it better. But Okay. Oh.
No. Mm-hmm.
Okay. So, yeah, so that's what I did. I took Thai. You go to the markets and you speak to them simple, like tell them things you'll take and what you want, and they will speak back to you so you can practice. I am very introverted, so I won't hold a lot of conversation, especially if I don't really know the language. I won't do it when I do know the language. So, so I wasn't able to learn as fast as other people would probably be able to learn, because you have to really interact with it. But I want to say, people speak English. So, and hand gestures, smiles, and 1, 2, 3 words of politeness will get you a long ways in every country.
Oh, okay, good.
In every country.
Let me ask you, because country hopping has to be expensive. So
Yes,
how
it
do
is.
you budget? Like, so how much was it, if you can remember, living in Thailand, like for your rent or wherever you were staying?
Okay, so Southeast Asia is fairly inexpensive. I'm saying fairly because it depends on your budget and your taste, what you will accept. It could be just as expensive as living in the US, or it could be way less expensive. So this is funny, but I always know how much I paid for a mortgage. When I had a house, I always pay less than that for rent, because I want to see myself saving money. And as far as utilities and things like that, it's not expensive. So I think my water bill would be like $3 a month, and my electric bill was high if it was $60 a month.
Oh, glory.
I just want to mention, you can cut this part if you want. I just want to mention that in Mexico, my last month there, my electric bill was $24.
Ooh, blessing, glory. Okay, let me ask you, Mexico, how much did it cost a month?
So,
if you can remember,
Mexico is way more expensive.
Oh.
I budget by the year.
Oh.
If I know I'm going to be
what
gone
about
that
Thailand?
long.
Then
So,
if it's that's too expensive. So what about
so
Thailand?
in Thailand, it cost me about $10,000 to $12,000 a year to be there, to live.
That's for your. Is that your food, or you including
That
your
was food,
water,
electric. My house came with internet, and that includes activities as well.
Oh.
And it includes my insurance, because I always advise everyone to have travel insurance.
Oh, that's
good.
That's very good.
So it included my travel insurance for the year, and it also included my school visa.
Okay. Okay.
My
Now
visa.
let me ask this question. I know you included all of that money together, but were you cooking or were you eating out?
Okay, so in Asia, it's it's the same. Like, to me, it was cheaper to eat out, to call in your food or to eat out, than it was to buy food.
Oh, okay.
Although, if you go to the markets, it's fairly inexpensive. I like that they make sure that people can have fresh water and can eat always. So even if you're paying $1,200 a month for a penthouse suite somewhere in Bangkok, Thailand, right? You still can go and get your meals for 60 cents, $1, $2.50,
60
something
cents.
like that.
Bless.
Yes. So we would eat chicken and rice. I love chicken and rice. And we would get the chicken and rice. Of course, it comes with a little soup, and we get a little Thai tea. It was big. It was like regular size. And we would get a Thai tea, and for both of us, it would cost like $8.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, that's wonderful. So I'm gonna say maybe the most expensive thing is getting there. But when you're close to where what you were doing was kind of country hopping.
I was.
So yours wasn't as expensive versus coming from the U.S.
Right.
going to Japan and all of these other places. So
Right.
you was country hopping. So yours was more affordable.
Right.
But so out of all these, and I want you to name drop some more places you've been. Come on, this is. And she's lived. You name drops because I remember you told me one time you was in some apartment and you said it was really nice, and I'm taking it that they're all furnished.
Yes, they're all furnished.
And I think you said $400 a month.
Yes, my apartment in Chiang Mai was
Chiang Mai,
Thailand.
Thailand. Okay.
That was $420 a month.
Mm-hmm.
It wasn't a high rise though. I was in a low rise because Thailand is famous for their high rises.
I felt like you showed me this big window.
I did.
Okay.
Yeah, I did.
I'm like on my daydreaming, and
yes.
It was so pretty. It was really pretty and a nice. Because I remember that, and she was like, "This is $400," and it was so pretty. And I loved seeing it. So, okay, name drop me some places you live. It don't have to be 6 months or more, but you was telling what you was doing initially. You went there because you was trying to go so many countries before your birthday, but the pandemic hit.
Right, I was trying to hit a certain amount of countries, but then the pandemic hit. But when I went to Asia, I had gone to Asia only once before. To Singapore and on a friend trip.
Okay.
So we went to Singapore, and I wanted to visit Malaysia when we were there because I like to. Okay, this is a tip for anybody that wants to travel and save some money. So what I usually do is I will either take a long flight and then do a really long layover if it's a long flight. So we did a layover in China when we went, and we were going to Singapore. But we had a really long layover in China. So I was able to see everything I wanted to see in Beijing.
Can you tell me how long was your layover?
I think it was
12
a good idea. Hours.
Okay, that's a good idea.
I think it was 12 hours.
And then sleep on the plane.
Yep.
Are we there yet? Oh, yeah. Okay, keep going.
And so that's a good tip. So we gone to Singapore. I wanted to, and we went for like 5 or 6 days, something like that. And then I wanted to go to Malaysia, but the train to Malaysia took like all day. Like it took like 5 hours or something. Then we'd have to come back, and that was another 5 hours. So we didn't do it. So when I was in Asia, I took the opportunity to go to, of course, Japan, of course, Thailand, Vietnam, Cambodia, and Malaysia. So that's all the places I ended up going to, and I spent extended time in most of them. So.
Okay.
Yeah.
But now you was naming some more places. Seemed like you just naming just a few.
Well, I've been to quite a few countries.
Yeah,
but in Asia, that's all I've been to.
But name some other countries.
Okay. Well,
she's been traveling abroad for over
yes.
how many years since the pandemic?
No, before then.
Before the pandemic, she just now getting back. What do you mean?
I think I've been traveling for about 10 years. And so
out of country.
Yes, out of country. I usually will go out every summer because I was in education. So I would
But when you took this brain pandemic education,
when I took
you was
this
going
career break.
Well, you called it a sabbatical.
Yes. When I took that, listen, when I took this sabbatical, this little career break, because I know sabbatical is when you are planning on coming back to the same job you were in. I think as soon as I left, I was done with that. But when I took this little career break, I went to Portugal to see if I would want to live there. I had gone to Portugal before. I really enjoyed Portugal, but it wasn't somewhere I actually wanted to live. So I was going to see if I wanted to live. So we checked out Lisbon, we checked out Porto, which were the two main places. And I just decided against it. You know, you have to go with whatever, you know, calms your spirit, right?
Yes.
Whatever says home to you, right? And then we went to France, and I stayed in France for like 30 days. And then where else did we go? We went, I can't remember where else I went. But
you went to Russia?
No, I've never gone to Russia.
You never gone to Russia?
I think I've never wanted to go until recently, and I was like, I want to go to Eastern Europe anyway, so I might as well like go to Russia and then look at.
What about Cuba?
I've never gone to Cuba.
Okay. Is that on your radar?
No.
Okay.
It has never been, and I'll tell you why. Because I don't like to have to go through too many steps to get somewhere.
Oh, okay.
And I find that everyone I talk to that has gone to Cuba, it was like you have to say like you're there for like you're content creator, or you're there to help the people, or you're there to do something. So I have to do another plan, right? Now I would go and say I'm there to help the people and then take over like some stuff that they might be missing, because you know they have a hard time getting a lot of supplies, right? Okay. So I would do that, but then that's extra planning that I have to do. Okay. So I never thought of Cuba because of that. Also, I have a tendency to lose things like my charger and things like that. So in Cuba, I have heard, and this is only hearsay, if it's not true, then I don't know, but that it's not easy to find stuff over there if you lose something. So it just seemed like too much trouble for me. Okay. I'm just like that. It's like the same reason I never went to Africa, because you need you need so many
but those are the places people normally go to Africa, and not so much Cuba. I can't say Cuba.
It's just me, probably, because I heard that you need like all these visas to get through the countries of Africa, right? So I'm good with a visa to get to one, but then if I want to go to the other, I want to just go to the other. Okay. So I don't want to do a whole bunch of stuff. Now, this might not be true either. I've never been to Africa, but this is what my research has shown me. They did have I think an Exodus Summit in Africa this last year, I think. Oh, okay. So I would have went there, but I just didn't. It was too much for me. It was too much. So
okay. As we conclude this video, what is your takeaway for the people that want to travel? Say that again. Is it black women that?
Oh yes, black women who want to travel and find their freedom.
There you go. Yes. How would you like to end this video?
Well, I just want to say, if you have any inkling in let's just talk about traveling. As opposed to just leaving the U.S. I think if you haven't traveled anywhere, you need to start there. So travel, see how it is outside the country, see how people treat you, see if wherever, and go to wherever you want to go. Even, I mean, you know, the little Caribbean islands, go there.
Why people, she say they little?
Well, I don't know why I said they little. Yeah, I don't know why I said they were little. I was just talking. I didn't mean it. I didn't mean it. So, even if you want to do that, that's fine as well. Just go somewhere and see how it is. If you don't like that place, that's fine. Go somewhere else. When you find the place that you like, then if you want to exodus, if you want to exit, then go and stay there for 30 days, 60 days, 90 days, a year. You know, just make sure that it's a place that is good for you. Because if you don't really like the place and you go there because someone else is saying it's the best place ever, then that's you're not gonna make it there. You're not going to make it. And when you come back, you're going to say you didn't make it because of a lot of reasons. But the real reason is because it wasn't the place for you.
Okay. All right. I like that. I am one of those. I want to go. I wrote that on it's not my bucket list of my things to do, I want to go out of country and stay somewhere for 30 days.
Yeah,
I think that would just be
Yes,
fabulous and
perfect.
fun and freeing.
Yes.
I think that is freeing.
Yes.
So, all right, like, comment, subscribe, 00J Love. Thank you for watching. I pray that this has inspired you to want to leave the country and get out and travel and see the world and not be afraid, and don't let anyone else make you afraid. Put this on your bucket list to explore and travel. Make sure it's within your budget and make sure it's affordable. You have to do your research and look and venture out and find your group and enjoy life. God's blessings be upon you. 00J Love.